Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about the new co-op mod on PC for Elden Ring by Luke Yu, I believe is his name. And I wanted to go over it because it's kind of a mixed bag for me. On the one hand, it's really cool, and like actually seeing the footage of all the stuff, I think this is going to be something that a lot of people are absolutely going to love, and I think it fixes a lot of issues with this game that the average casual player doesn't really want to have to deal with the whole convoluted summoning system. It's been a decade and it's still kind of weird and jank. The connection issues on PC were huge as well. So I think anything that circumvents all that stuff is awesome. And I really enjoy modding like this. I think it's very cool. But on the other side, as someone that loves PvP, I'm actually really sad to see this on PC anyway. I play on PS5, so this doesn't really affect me, but I still want to offer my sympathies because the whole thing with this is this will effectively kill invasions on PC. And the thing is, it was already slowing down on PC quite a bit. That's why I switched to PS5 because I was getting connection errors, and when I didn't get a connection error, it just took forever to actually find invasions. For whatever reason, even though there's still 100,000 people playing, I could not find people to invade anymore. It just stopped like after the first month. So that was kind of sad, but this will pretty much seal the deal. This will absolutely kill all invasions in this game. And the only PvP left will be some duels at the Academy, and that's pretty much it. Now, I want to go over the mindsets about this because I was reading a Reddit thread about this mod, and the entire thread was just filled with sentiments of they're glad that invasions are dead and things like that. And it was just heartbreaking to me because I feel like that's such a selfish way to look at it. Now, before I go on, let me go over. I agree that I think Twinking is equally stupid and annoying. If you're invading, you know, level 1 at Stormvale Castle and you got the whole dual Anspur rapiers with full bow goats and winged crystals here, yeah, that's just stupid. And so much so, I would probably even suggest that for future games, they make it so you just can't be invaded below like level 50 or something like that. Because once you start getting higher levels, Twinking doesn't really matter anymore because then you have access to all the same tools that they do, except you just have more people because you're co-oping. So it becomes way more in your favor again. It's just those really early levels when you have no upgrades in your weapon and you're just like, you know, a level 9 character, then yes, it's very, very stupid. And that's why I think if we remove those early game invasions, yeah, you won't be able to invade in like, you know, Stormvale or Weeping Peninsula anymore. But I think that's a fair trade-off for not pissing off half the player base with this shit. All that being said, it was heartbreaking in these comments to see so many people celebrating the death of the PvP. And don't get me wrong, I get that it's jank and broken and it doesn't function very well, but I still, to this day, agree with the sentiment that there's simply nothing like it. Invasions in this game are such a unique thing. I'm going to tell you, the first ever invasion experience I had was in Dark Souls 1. I was playing with my friend, and we were in the sewers, and we were at that one bonfire at the end of that long, skinny hallway with the drop-down goops. And I went to go to the bonfire to light it, and the bonfire went out, and it got really, really quiet, and there was no ambient sounds anymore. And then my friend just went like, "Oh no!" And that was just, to me, that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in a game. And then we got invaded and got destroyed. But that experience right there was one of the coolest things. And I just simply don't have the same level of hate for it that a lot of people do. Now, obviously, I'm not everybody. Some people don't want that and they just want to have fun with their friends. But to me, that is such a unique experience that I never want to deal away with that stuff. I think that stuff is like legendary, and that's what makes this genre of games so unique and unlike anything else. So to people celebrating the death of that, I want to show you what is the lesser of two evils, essentially. So without this co-op mod, you have to, let's say the worst case scenario, you want to play with your friend every, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you have to deal with an annoying, let's say this is still early game when Twinking's even possible. You have to deal with an annoying over-leveled Twink. So the first, 30 levels of your playthrough is going to be very annoying. And I get that, and that is very stupid. And the people that are invading with that busted shit, I think you guys are doing a disservice of the game. You're making people hate PvP even more. Please fucking stop it. But that's the worst thing you'll have to deal with. Now, let's look on the other side with this co-op mod. What do invaders have to deal with? Well, invaders have to deal with, we can't play the game anymore. That's it. We just can't play. So when you look at the lesser of two evils, we either have co-opers that are annoyed that, every 15 minutes or whatever, they're getting invaded by people, or the other side is, fuck you, you don't get to play the game. Go away. And when you put it in a black and white way like that, it's kind of obvious which one is the lesser of two evils. Now, the problem is when you talk about that kind of stuff, people say, well, PvP is the minority. And that's very true. PvP is absolutely the minority. I bet 90% of people in this game don't give a shit about PvP. And that's totally fine. But if you're comparing it metric wise, again, just black and white like that, I think that's disingenuous. What you should really do is compare the amount of hours spent into the game and then compare it based collectively on those player bases. Because if we look at, Johnny and Sue that are playing their, a playthrough, and they might do a second playthrough or something like that, and then they don't touch the game until, DLC comes out, those people are going to put in a fraction of the hours that one PvP player is going to do. So even if there's, 90% of people don't PvP, that 10% is still putting an equal amount of total game hours in to the other 90%. And if you put it like that, you realize you are actually alienating just about the same amount of hours into the game per person than you are the other way around. So I try to look at it like that. Although it's more of a niche thing, the people that are doing it for much longer than you. And to celebrate the fact they just can't play what they want to anymore, I think it's just really selfish. And trust me, it goes the same way for invaders too. People that are invading and complaining about overleveled fandoms and stuff like that, you guys are in the exact same boat. You guys are being selfish too. You're invading into someone that doesn't really want it, so you have to deal with what the game is throwing at you. And I think those people are equally guilty as well. But let me give you a scenario. Like, what if somebody released, and that's not really possible, but let's just, for example's sake, what if someone released a mod that made it so you can now invade solo hosts, and also co-op is disabled, so you don't have to worry about invading into multiple people that are ganking you anymore. And that's the mod. You know how much outroar there would be? You know how much outcry? That would be universally lambasted. That would be ridiculous because you're removing an entire core component of the game for people that enjoy doing co-op so they can't play anymore. That'd be ridiculous. But that's exactly what this mod does for people that enjoy invasions. You're removing a core component of the game and they just can't play anymore. And I think that is at least a mindset I think people should at least try to appreciate, that just because you don't like that does not mean that it should be removed from the game entirely. And that's why it just broke my heart to see all the people celebrating it just simply being removed from the game entirely. I just think that's really sad, and it just comes off as, I don't know, you just don't care about the other experience, just like people that are Twink invading don't care about the experience of the people that are running through the game early. They're both ruining the game for each other. And I wish people were just overall less shitty on both sides about that. But yeah, the mod looks cool. I might even check it out myself. It seems really, really neat. I'm just kind of sad to see this basically mean the death of invasions on PC. So that's it. I just want to talk about that. See ya.